What is going on, everybody? Can you guys hear me? Whoa, the lighting is not very good here at all. Hold on, I can fix that. Hold on, I can fix that. Hold on. What is going on, everybody? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Just trying to make sure I got this all worked out. I think you guys can hear me. I'm gonna give it just a few more minutes for people to come, just to make sure people who want to come can be here. You guys can hear me. Oh, that's awesome. What's going on, Eric? What is going on, people? The lighting is not very good, and I have a feeling it's not gonna be able to get better than this. I'm gonna just give it a few more minutes, people. A few more minutes. This is like actually the first time I've done Zoom with other people, like with a group, like as hosting a meeting. So this is like yeah, this is awesome. This is really cool, actually. I was actually nervous. I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna work. How I'm gonna get this going. I'm gonna give it just a few more minutes for people. I guess while I'm buying some time for other people to get in here, I can say that this is about personal branding. Was your first time ever doing Zoom as well? Okay, all right, I'm not alone. Okay, I thought it was just me. Everyone seems to be on Zoom all the time, but I'm like, I just use FaceTime, WhatsApp, Instagram video, so this is like a first for me. I just want to give it just a few more minutes just for people to come and join. I know people are late. I'm always late to everything, so I always take that into consideration for other people. Were there any early questions before we just get started? Any early questions? I can put that in the back of my mind, because I asked a question on Instagram and people gave me some great answers, great feedback. So I just want to, if you guys have any that are here real quick. And you can hear me. You can hear me. Everyone can hear me? Just one more test to make sure people can hear me. We're about to get started. Okay, you can hear me now. Okay, if any point you can't hear me or something cuts out, just let me know. My internet is not so great. I can switch to using my phone. Works well. Okay, perfect. Well, I have the video off for other people, but normally the video would work, but I cut the video off for people because I felt that I didn't want anything to happen with my internet. Is horrible here, so I didn't want my internet to cut out because I was using too much bandwidth. Even when I'm FaceTiming, it's difficult for me to. Okay, actually, I'm trying to decide if I want to have this light shining in my face the whole time. But I think you guys can see me, and I think we're good. We're gonna get started, guys. We're about to get started. Hope you guys are excited. Hope you guys are really excited for today. Let's try to get some good lighting. I think this is the best lighting. Okay, first of all, I want to say thank you you all for joining. This is actually the first time you guys have seen me on live. If you guys don't know, my name is Luke. Make YouTube videos, traveling, been doing a lot of stuff. And this is the first time I've ever taught something live. Like, I do live all the time on Instagram and YouTube, but I'm not teaching anything. I'm just kind of rambling on, talking, feeding off of what people are asking me. I never go in there with like a set objective to say something. So this is like the first time that I've ever made a video like that. And I just wanted to say that you guys are the first ones as part of this whole new thing that I'm going to do. So I want to make certain videos, almost like mini courses that I'll put on Charms University. And I was like, well, instead of filming these videos and making them amazing quality, which is really important, I'm going to make them on here live for you all who want to know. And people who find me later on, they'll have to purchase this thing. So you guys are getting a great value for being here. So I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for being the first group of people to show up here. And I'm really excited. Like, I'm so excited. You guys have no idea. I'm nervous, excited, all those things at the same time. And I have my notes right here just so I don't miss anything. So personal branding, um, it's very important, and I talk about it a lot. But your personal branding, it's like it's your reputation. So you guys found me because my name is Luke, and my personal brand is Luke Life Charms. Like, that's who I am, and everything you guys find, whether you're following me on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter, whatever it is, all those are parts of are a part of my personal brand. So your personal brand is so important, you know, especially in this world that we live in right now. Like, what we live in right now, a personal brand, it's not affected by things. You know, it's not your fault that people lost money. It's not your fault, all these different things that are going on. So having a personal brand, you're not really affected by it. Your income might be affected. There's a lot of things that can be affected, but your personal brand is usually always intact. So for me, I think it's so important to build your personal brand. I think right now, in the time that we're living in, and everyone's kind of locked up, not locked up, but everyone's kind of in quarantine, that now is a perfect time to work on your personal brand. Because you got to remember, it's like about you. It's all about you, your personal brand. Everything surrounding you, everything that you do, this is all part of your personal brand. And now that we are all in quarantine and have that time, we can all be building that. So this is what we're going to learn today. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of how everything works with your personal brand, how to set it up. And we're also going to get into kind of the pitfalls and content, the content blocks that people have about putting out content, like worried about what people think, all this kind of stuff. So we're going to jump into that as well. So here, first thing that I have is your personal brand. It's really, like I say, it's your reputation. And more importantly, it's kind of your reputation if someone Googles you. Because if you're in another country, I don't know you. Like, how do I meet you if I don't meet you in person? So your personal brand, who you are, which surrounds you, you know, is you can look up online. I should be able to Google, boom, pop up. That's your personal brand. And if you don't see anything pop up, you got some work to do. And by the end of this video, you'll have a great idea of how that works. But it's basically how people look at you. Apple's a personal brand. Starbucks is a personal brand. It's a brand. Now, a more personal brand is like a Grant Cardone, a Gary Vaynerchuk, Tony Robbins. You know these people, and you can consume their content and all the different things that they put out all over the world, and it's related to them. There's a face to it, and that's the power of a personal brand. Tony Robbins is still the same now as he was before the pandemic, as far as people's concerned, because he's his own personal brand. So before we get into that, the main things that I had written down about why you should have a personal brand is because you are in control. You're in control. You're in control of your personal brand. For me, Luke Life Charms, I'm in control of my personal brand. I can decide to make it like this. I can decide to do this. The decisions I make is affecting me and my brand. I'm representing my personal brand everywhere I go. As much as I could do crazy stuff, I'm free to talk about what I want to. My personal brand is going to be affected by it. You know, so I think that one thing to really understand is that you are in total control of it, and there's power there. You know, if you guys have realized, a lot of people going through different things right now, it's out of their control. And anything out of your control brings fear. So anytime you can't control the situation, you can't control an outcome, and you have zero control over it, and it's not even yours, you realize that you're just working under someone who doesn't have control. There's nothing wrong with working for someone or anything. I think it's very important to have your own thing on the side that you are in control over. Like, I can't control incomes going up and down. We're going to talk about it later for the money for YouTube. The money just dropped crazy because all the business is stopped, and I can't control that. I'm not fired from YouTube, but from the money dropping, that's a big change. But as a personal brand, it's like, okay, now what do I have to do to get better? If I had been in a job that had just let me go, then it's out of your control completely. Now it's like, I got to find a new job, which means a new identity, which means a lot of problems right now. And you understand with a personal brand, because you have that control, which you never really have full control of anything, but you're not as vulnerable because you're your own brand. When things happen, it's up to you to take action, and that can change. When you're under someone else's control, like if you worked for me, for example, and now I'm not making money, so now I gotta fire you. I had no control, and on top of that, you're working under me, so you definitely have no control. So having a personal brand that really gives you a little bit more control and makes you less vulnerable to exterior things that most people would be affected by you having your personal brand. And I have here like how to start, like how do you start building a personal brand? And it's different for everyone. I think that I talk about this a lot in the podcast. I talk about it on YouTube. But how to start? Where do you start to build your personal brand? I always say, what do you like to do? What makes you happy? What are the things that you see this and or you love to talk about when no one's watching? What is it that you love to do? Because this is what you should start it around. You should definitely always start what you're doing. You should always start it on something that you love. It's hard to build a personal brand. It's hard. Like anyone who says it's easy, they don't know what they're talking about. Like, I'm sorry, it takes a lot of work. Now, just because it's hard doesn't mean it's not worth it. Eating healthy, some people say it's not hard, but it's worth it so much that their values are so strong that they're going to eat healthy. You know, so I have on here that you start by finding something that you love, and then that's when you start to build the content around it. And of course in the online space, and I think that when it comes to doing anything like a personal brand, you could talk about anything, losing weight. I think there's three factors that are really important. And that's the motivation, the desire to do it. The second is the ability, like, do you have the ability to do it? And the third is, are you prompted to do it? So these are like the three factors in one book that I read, which really stood out to me as the things that are the reason why people do something. Like, what is the reason that you change your life? Do you have a deep desire to change your life? Are you motivated to change your life? Are you like, what's going on? And then you look at that, and some people aren't there yet. They're not motivated, they're not prompted, but they have the ability to, which is another key factor. Do you have the ability? Can you do it? Like, can you build a personal brand? Can you start your online thing on what you love? Like, are you able to do that? So by doing this, what you realize is like, okay, I do kind of have the desire to build my personal brand and to take control of my own life. And I will be vulnerable, I know, but like, okay, that's good. You have the ability to do it. I think now we all have the ability to do it. Like one of the top three questions I get when it comes to content, people are asking is like, what do I need to get started? Like, what camera should I get? What like, if you're watching this Zoom, like anything, whatever you have, you can use to film. Like, it doesn't matter in the beginning. Like, as you advance, you're gonna realize that you do want to have better quality, you want to have all this stuff. But when I started on YouTube, I used my phone for everything. And that's what I started. But you have to build it on what you love, because it takes a lot of time. And people are building something because they're like, I want to make a lot of money doing this. And I always tell people, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. Building a personal brand is literally like laying brick by brick by brick. And if you try to rush it up, like you seem like, I'm American, and I know in America they build houses in like 2 weeks, like, and it's made out of like aluminum kind of material, and it looks cool, looks really nice. But when that first storm hits, boom, it goes down. And because it's not a solid foundation. So when you build your personal brand, because you're in full control of your personal brand, you really make shifts how you want to. You really are building your brand step by step by step, and by brick, you're laying it down just how you want it. You're in control of that. Now, of course, like I say, you don't control the outcome, you don't control the income, you can't control all the things that happen. But what you can control is how you go about building it. And how you go about building your personal brand determines how strong it is. Like, are you going about it the right way? What's your objective? Are you, whatever, you're trying to help people? Are you trying to just make money? I think that you're in control of how it's built. And for me, there's power in that, because people are scared to do it. I mean, the fact that you all showed up here, or if you guys are watching this recording later, the fact that you purchased this shows that you really want to, you're making that first step already. you're making that very first step to building your personal brand. And everything you put out, everything you put online is part of your personal brand. Whether it's a picture of a cup of coffee, whatever it is, it's part of your personal brand. It's how people identify you. If I say Apple to you, your brain goes to thinking of an iPhone, thinking of a MacBook. That's a strong personal brand. Tony Robbins, you come to think, oh, motivating, helping a lot of people. That's a strong personal brand. And he built it. And he had the idea. He was the visionary behind it. Like, this is the thing, when you have your personal brand, you really can let that part of your brain for creation, let it just go wild. There's nothing that can really stop you. There's no limit. If you want to talk about this, you talk about this. You want to talk about that, you talk about that. You build it on what you love. And I think the problem that people make, we're about to get into content here in a little bit, but the thing that a lot of mistakes that I feel that people make is that when they're building their brand, they're worried so much about, like, oh, I don't know if people are like that. So they start to build their brand on something that they actually don't like. They're building it on what other people like. And that is one of the biggest problems. You can make money doing it, it's great. But eventually, when you're talking about getting to that high level, you start to just be like, actually, I don't really like that anymore. Or you just give up before because you're like, oh, that's really hard. So I hope that you guys can understand that when it comes to building a personal brand, it's a very powerful thing that you can do. And we're doing it already. You've built your personal brand outside of the online space. People, when I ask it, like if I just go into the see who's here, like Nico, when you go around, if I were to ask someone like, yo, you know, Nico, what's going on with Nico? Like, they would tell me, like, oh, Nico, he's this person who do, like, that's your personal brand. But when we think about it from a bigger space, we realize that, oh, your personal brand, that's online. That's when I Google you. See, what do you do? What do you talk about? What's on his Instagram? What's on his Facebook? What's on his different platforms like this? So you understand that if you're talking about something and you're selling something or anything like that, the stronger your personal brand and the stronger the need is for people to have what it is that you have, they'll take you because they know you. That's your personal brand. You know, and I hope that that kind of makes sense. If you guys want to, before I change the next subject, feel free to drop any questions in that you have on that, anything that I just said. Sometimes I get talking real fast. I have like these notes here, and I haven't even really looked at them too much. I keep on looking or just rambling off. And we're gonna get into content next. Hope you don't mind. Just need a sip of coffee here. First sip of coffee, by the way. Good point. Okay, good. I'm glad this helping you all. Little 15-second little coffee because if you guys don't know, it's the best way for me to do this because I'm living in Bali at the moment. It's about 4 a.m. here, 4:30 a.m. because any other time people are probably sleeping. So I had to make sure I'm charged up for the second part. This is we're about to get into like the nitty gritty, and I'm trying to make this as condensed as possible. I could ramble on and on and on, but I'm really trying to give you the deep points to this. And like I say, you all here. Oh, you're in Madrid. Oh, wow. Sorry. It's all good. It's all good. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. And like I say, after this webinar, if you guys like, send me an email that you were here, and I can send you I'll send you my notes that I have from here. They're not really organized, but maybe you'll look at something and be like, oh, I remember what he said. He said this. So I can get you guys the notes, as well as I try to see if I can get this copied to you, because I'm going to, this whole personal branding thing, this is actually going to be a course that I'm going to just sell. It'll be a live session. I'm going to sell them as part of like a little mini course, mini workshops for people who are interested later, who weren't, sorry, they weren't a part of this. So if you're watching this and you actually brought it, I'm sorry you missed it. There'll be more to come up. And next we're going to be moving into content a little bit. Now I'm going to host another lot. I'm going to host a lot of these. I'm not great at teaching like this. I mean, I don't want to say I'm not great. I'm not experienced in teaching live. So I really need to practice this. And I was like, instead of building these little mini courses, mini workshops that I'll put on the website, what I'll do is I'll practice it live, and it helps me to get better. And at the same time, I can answer some of you guys' questions. So feel free to drop your questions. I'll be reading them on the side as I'm going along. Um, um, yeah, so I need to do this. So there'll be more. We're going to jump into content really quick, but not too deep into content. Content is a separate thing on its own. But I do want to touch on some very important points on the content, which I think is very important for your personal brand, and it really will help with how long your personal brand can last without having to change everything. So we're gonna jump into content right now. I'm trying to think if I should jump into the content blocks first or content. Let's just do a little rant on content. Basically, everything that this is content. Like I say, I could go on for about an hour on content. But content, everything you do is content right now. Everything you do. Like if I were to go to you guys Instagram, I were to go to you guys Facebook, like everything you're posting is content. Everything you're doing right now is content. And you understand that it's the context that you put with the content that gives it its power. You know, for example, and to give you some ideas of how you can start building your personal brand and everything, and you can use me. You guys can use me literally as soon as this call ends. Well, I know some of you guys it's very late where you are, but later when this is over, what you can do, or tomorrow morning, and you have zero content out, you can literally jump on your phone, whatever, and make a video. Say, hey, I just got out a video. This guy, Luke Life Charms, this YouTuber guy who I know, and he talked about personal branding. And you literally can say the stuff that I say. And literally say, I think it's really important, like you get your phone. Yeah, I think it's really important that I start building my personal brand. This is my very first video. Welcome, my name is blah, blah, blah. And that's the beginning of your personal brand. There's no like perfect way to start. You know, and I feel like so many people that I talk to, they get held back by waiting for that moment to start. You know, if you guys don't know, for me, I always knew personal branding was important. I didn't content. I'm like, okay, like I didn't know how do I make content? Do I just share my life? Which is what a lot of people do, and that's great. But we start to understand, wait a minute, this is like my reputation online. A lot of these people who watch me, they can be maybe clients one day. Also, at the same time, what I can do is I can maybe attract new people. So I need to be myself, and I need to be myself on more platforms. And understand that anytime that you post any content anywhere, that's an asset. It's an asset to your personal brand, because by having content online, you become every piece of content is an asset because people can find you. I think it's Gary Vee who says it's an at bat. Every time you put out a post, every time you put out something, it's an at bat. So what you need to understand is when you're making your content, that as you put out new content and piece by piece, these bricks that we talked about earlier, putting out brick by brick by brick, as you put those out, you are having another at bat for someone to find you. And the best part of making online content is that once you have the content online, it's there forever. And not only is it there forever, but it works when you're not working. This is one of the biggest things that I don't see anyone ever talking about. Like it works when you're not working. That means some of you guys here, you found me on YouTube or maybe on Instagram. But basically all these things, I think Nico said you're from Madrid. Like I was in Madrid, and someone's gonna want to go to Madrid once things are settled down, and they're gonna be looking online, and they're gonna find one video that I filmed in Madrid. And maybe they're watching that video right now. I'm not doing anything though. That is online. That piece of content is online. So right now, as I'm talking to you, someone's watching a video, learning about Madrid. And then they're gonna be like, wait, Luke's been to other places. They're gonna look at other places that I've been. Then they might jump to my Instagram and do that. All that while I'm hosting a webinar. And before this, I was sleeping. So it's understanding that once you have something online, it's powerful. It works when you're not working. It works when you're not working, which is like one of the biggest thing you can do, because it allows you to do other things. So let's say you had a very strong personal brand that's working online. You have a bunch of material, a bunch of content. You have this content that goes to this material, that goes to this product, that goes to here. When you have that, now you set up a powerful personal brand, and people can keep finding you without you having, hey, what's going on? My name is blah, blah. And, you know, and that's very powerful. And the easiest way that I could explain it to you, and I hope you guys know how Instagram stories work. Basically, you make a video post and it goes away after 24 hours. A personal brand is like making that clip and it goes away after 24 hours. And a strong personal brand is like having a post, because the post people can find 3 days from now, 3 weeks from now, 3 months from now. And it can be after all this different, hold on, let me jump in the comments real quick. If you post the same content on all platforms, or for me, you can break it down. You can really break down the content that you have. So, so for example, I'm doing this webinar right now to break it down and give you an example. And I could post a little piece of this webinar on my Instagram, which I might even do. But what I can do is I can put this entire content somewhere and send people there. So you're kind of having one big piece of content. You could break it down into many. I could take this webinar right here and post it on my YouTube channel. I could post this hour and a half video, however long this is going to be, on my YouTube channel. So that's one post. But I could also take the same webinar, have it on my YouTube channel, have a couple quotes from it, put it on my Twitter, take a little, film it. I could film right now on here, boom, 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 filming, and I could put it on my Instagram stories, which is actually a great idea. And this is what I do right now. I'll show you an example. This is a perfect example. So I have my phone right now, and I'm about to film the content right now to show you guys what's going on, guys. So it is like almost 5. We're almost halfway done with the webinar. Boom, feel free to jump on if you guys like, showing you all that are here how I'm putting the content like that. And it's going down. Hope to see you there. It's still linked in the bio. You probably still join. Not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure you still can join. Yeah, it's going down. Boom, so I just filmed that. Now with this content right here, I'm going to share that to my story. So that's what you call brand awareness. So now you're getting people to know about it. So if you think about it just from a logical standpoint, the more places that you have it, the better it is. But don't kill the quality when putting it in different places. You know, don't make it just, because it's important that you understand that every platform has its own feeling that people have when they go in there. And I got this from other people that had told me that and brought it up to me, because you think I take this webinar, boom, post it, and I'll sell it on Charms University. But then at the same time, I'm like, well, I can just share it to Facebook, the entire video, which I could do. And I could post the exact same thing everywhere, but I could just maybe curate it just a little bit differently. So I'd sell this entire webinar. This entire thing will be sold on Charms University, but I have a little clip of it, which I'll talk about on my Instagram, just a little clip, and say, if you guys are interested, check this out, and it's there. And I might post this entire video for free in a private Facebook group. I'll give this to the people who are in my mastermind. I'll give them this video for free as well. So you can see I have one piece of content, but I'm putting it out in many different places. So this is something that's very important to remember as well, is understanding that it's not about always one platform, but it's understanding the more places it is, that's more at-bats you have for someone to find you. Because as much as I like it, as much as I love to, this is one reason why I had you guys sign up for an email to join this meeting, is because people all are on Facebook or on Instagram. So I know a lot of my audience doesn't go on Instagram. I know some of my audience doesn't go on Facebook. So I'm like, well, how, next time I have an event that I'm hosting last minute, horribly planned, like a lot of things I do, how do I get it to them? I'm like, I gotta have an email list. And this is why I started an email list. So next time I have something coming out, I don't wanna rely on you guys just happen to there's a lot of things on Instagram. Like, why would you guys come and look at just everything that I'm putting out on Instagram? Like, I don't see all the things for people who I like on Instagram, because Instagram shows who they want to. So having you guys on the email list means that I can get things out to you faster. So now it's like, oh, hosting a webinar, my next webinar will be on content creation. I'm not sure when that'll be, possibly this weekend. And we're gonna talk about all the different content forms, how you guys can break down your content, everything. It's gonna be awesome, and I'm excited for that, because that's more of my specialty. Personal branding, I know this from my experience. And I guess I should have said that in the beginning of this webinar, is that all of this stuff that I'm telling you guys, all the stuff that you're learning, hopefully you're taking notes, all this stuff is from my experience on building a personal brand. And I totally forgot. See, this is why I need to do lives, because if this was a vlog, I could just edit that out and be like, oh, I can put this at the beginning. But no, now I'm forced to think about it while I'm still talking and think about something. So it's making my brain start to think, multi-dimensional. But all this stuff is based on how I built it, and I didn't have someone to show me how to build a personal brand. I had no idea, like, wait, I need to have content on different places. Yeah. The more places you have it, the more people can find it. And the thing is, once you put 5 posts on Instagram, which you can schedule, you can just schedule, make 10 posts, spend an hour on a Sunday afternoon or Thursday morning, and just make 7 or 8 posts and schedule them to post themselves on Hootsuite. There's many applications. You can hire someone to do it. And by doing that, what that means is now people can, your post will be up there. So if someone who just says, oh, who's Eric? And they click, they go to your profile. Oh, he has these pictures, okay. And now social media has made it so easy. Like right now, I just shared this webinar just on my phone using Instagram stories and just popped it like that. And people can watch it right now while I'm still doing this. So you start to see the power of the personal brand because it brings you attention. And as we're about to get into money later in a little bit, you understand that money follows attention. So the more attention you have, and if it's true what you've built, if it's really something you care about, like, I'm going to sell this personal branding because I really love this and I'm passionate about it. And this is, it's a product. I've made a product off of something that I love, so I hope that kind of makes sense to you guys. So we're going to jump into right now, which is, I was going to put this only in the content creation live workshop that I'm going to hold, but I think I will tell you guys this because this is important and this might help you guys and bring you guys some value. But first, a little coffee sip. If there are any questions on what I said so far. Okay, I think we're good. So this is the big one. This is like the number one question I think I get when I talk about content to people, or I post something on my story. And that is, these are the content blocks that I like to call them, because they're blocks that we have in our mind about creating content. So the first one is that it's boring. Like, Luke, personal brand, why? I mean, my life is boring. I don't really do anything. And I know some people won't agree with me here, but I think that most people's lives are boring to them. I mean, that's the honest truth. I think that my life is pretty boring a lot of times. Because that's what I'm used to. We're all used to our life. For example, I think, I can't remember who, I think it was Nico said that you're in Madrid. Like, okay, I've been to Madrid before, so I know. But some other people, they don't know what it's like to walk down the streets of Madrid. They don't know what it's like. What do I need to do first thing when I go to Madrid? What is it? Where's the best restaurant to eat when I'm in Madrid? Like, a lot of people don't know this kind of stuff. So when you understand that, oh, wait, I have a different perspective than most people. Or let's not even talk about cities. Let's just talk about whatever it is that you know. You have a totally different perspective. If I say, I don't know, what's something that people talk about all the time? Ways to clear stress. Everyone has their own way to do it, but not everyone has the exact same way that you have. So I think that's something important to understand, is that you all are very powerful when it comes to the brand and the information that you put out. Because no one has your perspective. So when you think your life is boring, like, I think, like today, I posted a vlog today, which is, I think, is pretty boring. All I'm doing is waking up, I'm riding my scooter around here in Bali, I'm going to Aurora Run, buying some food, and that's it. That's all I did. But that for someone who's not here, for someone who's never been here, that's a very powerful perspective. So I think when it comes to personal branding, and posting content more specifically, that you can't have that block. You just have to forget about it. You have to understand that someone's never seen this before. Someone's never heard my opinion on it. Everyone can talk about the same thing, but no one has your exact opinion on it. And I think that that's part of putting yourself out there, because someone was going to hear you and they might have heard it before, but they agree with you. Like, oh, I like what Nico says. I'm going to start doing this more. Like, that guy made a good point. And that's how you start to build it. So that's a block that people have. The second block that I had here was the opinions of other people. Like, the opinions of other people. This is, like, for me, it's one of the it's one of the biggest blocks that I think people have. Is they're just like, I'm worried about what other people say. I don't know what should happen, and it's just like, what do you mean? You can't live your life based on the opinions of other people, if that makes sense to you guys. So basically, when I post anything, especially in the beginning, I always was so worried about what people thought. And even now, like it's only now that I've started to take a lot of courses and classes myself that I've realized that like I got to get out of my head about it. Like there was this block in my mind that, well, I need to make my vlog very interesting. I need to put really cool music on the background. I really need to do all this stuff. And that stuff held me back. I was still able to create content, but not as freely as I can right now. Like today, I just picked up my camera and I'll show you exactly what I use. Literally my GoPro right here, and just went around today filming. I was like, well, I'm not gonna put music to it. I'm gonna keep it very simple, keep it very raw. And if people like it, that's great. If they don't, it's not for me to worry about. Because you as a personal brand is to put out content. Now, of course, you want to be very mindful of what people like, what is a good direction to go, but always be yourself. The right people will come to you. Like, for example, I was worried about this webinar. You know, hold on, I'm gonna get some people in here. Waiting room. I think some more people are joining. Okay, I think everyone's in. So, for example, even me, when I started out on YouTube, like I was really worried about the stuff that I put out, like 100%. And it's normal you're going to be worried about what other people think, you know. And I think that if you let that stop you, you're going to start. What happens, and I saw it in myself sometimes early in my YouTube career, is that I would start making things because I thought people would like these. So instead of making what I want to make and what I like and what I enjoy, I was like, wait, people will like this more. So you start going down the wrong path. And this is when you really can burn out because you feel as if you're working for someone else, which technically I am. I'm there to serve my audience. But at the same time, you got to do it on what you love. And you can't be deterred from because someone else says, no, you should make it like this, you should do it like this. At the end of the day, you need to do it exactly how you like to do it. The right people will find you. Like I say about this webinar, I had no idea people would show up to it. Like my mindset was just like, I really want to share this and I'm going to make a video about this and I'm going to put it on my Charms University. I don't know, I'll sell this thing for 10, 15 bucks or something like this. This is what I was thinking. But I was like, what if I just host it live? I'm not great at speaking to people live. I don't have a lot of experience. People can get the free content if they actually really want it. And also in my mind, I was like, wait, and actually some of these people who are here, if they show up here, some of them might be interested in working with me as well. Some of them might be interested in other things that I have that can help them out. And if they're not, that's fine. But also, some of the people who come to this personal branding thing will want to come to the next webinar that I have, or maybe they'll tell someone else about it, or maybe they'll just learn something. So I had all these thoughts in my mind that come through. But at the same time, it's like, you just do it. If no one would have showed up here, it would have been exactly the same. I mean, I wouldn't have been as happy. I'm happy you guys are here, but I would have thought totally, I would have still continued to talk about what it is that I want to talk about. I still would have went on with this. I just wouldn't have done some Q&A, of course, but that's one thing that you can't let stop you is the opinions of other people and worrying about that. You know, you have to push yourself out your comfort zone to grow. Like it's a must. You have to push yourself out your comfort zone. Like as much as you guys, I don't know if all of you have seen it, but I make vlogs on YouTube. Like in the beginning, do you think, let me show you, do you think it's easy for me to walk around with my camera like this in front of people? In the beginning, I was so nervous doing that. Like so many times, I couldn't even put parts in the vlog about that because all you saw was me. Like if you guys are the camera, I'm looking at you, I was just like, because I was so nervous about it. I was so nervous. Like that took up most of my mind. I couldn't even finish telling a sentence because I was so nervous talking in front of the camera. But over time, when you keep pushing yourself out your comfort zone, you get better at it. Like, guys, you just get better. Anything, some of the best advice I heard, anything you practice, you'll get good at. And we tend to think of that as in, if I practice something like great, I'll get good at it. No, whoa. You're missing the other side of the perspective of the spectrum. If you practice something bad, you'll get good at that too. If you practice lying, you practice unhealthy eating, if you practice whatever, being shy, being nervous, you'll get good at it. You'll get very good at it. And then the problem is that little voice in your head starts to understand you. And they're like, oh, I know you like this. I deal with this all the time. My brain is like, oh, Luke, I know you like these peanut butter Oreos they have in Bali. And now it starts to tell you that. So then you I get really good. I know where to go get it, but it's like, no, 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 no. I'm not gonna listen to you. So I got good at, okay, I'll get a papaya. If you guys saw my Instagram story. So I have a lot of papayas because that was like, okay, I'm gonna go to this. So if you practice being nervous, you practice all this kind of stuff, it's gonna just keep coming. You gotta push through that comfort zone to put out your content. Like, and this is one of the most important things, you know, and the thing is to think about it is like, put it like this. I remember one time when I was in college, and if you guys don't know, I went to college back in the States, and big gym, arena, and I always had someone let me in the gym. So I'd go to the gym all the time, midnight, 1 a.m., didn't matter to me. And I remember one day I was in there shooting. It was early in the morning, I think I got there. And I was shooting these free throws, and I was missing them a lot. And there was someone in the gym when I was there, and they came down, they're like, wow, you're missing a lot. And my mind went, and the first thing I said to them is like, yeah, that's why I'm here. You know, and I thought about it just then, and I thought about this later on. It didn't hit me till years later. And I was like, yeah, like, why am I walking around with a camera in front of my face? Because I'm not good at it. So by doing it, I'm going to get better. You know, so this is where if you push yourself out your comfort zone, then you get to a point where you're like, I don't even remember being nervous. Like, I really have to think back. Now I don't even think about my camera. Like, I literally don't think about it. I can pull it out in the middle of thousands of people, walk around with everyone staring at me, and I don't even think about it. I only think about it when I'm with people, and they're like, Luke, why is everyone looking? I was like, oh, I was filming right there. It's all good. You know, so that's a block that people have. But you just got to push yourself out your comfort zone, guys. I know you can do it. Definitely, definitely, definitely. The last two things that I want to jump in, into on this content thing is something I talk about this in the YouTube Accelerator program that I have, more in depth. But I feel like if you watch this, you almost don't need to hear that part in the Accelerator program. But this one is the timeless content versus momentary content. This is just something to keep in mind when you're making your content, and this is so important. This is the reason. This is a huge thing. Timeless content versus scalable content. We'll go more into this in the content creation webinar that I'll host maybe this weekend or next week. But basically, when you're creating content, you have two kinds of content you can create. You can create timeless or momentary. And I can give you a perfect example of this. A timeless let's give you momentary. Momentary content is talking about my phone, this phone right here. So this is the iPhone 11. Let's talk about this phone. I want to talk about the specifics, why it works, the specifications, the camera quality, all that. That is a momentary piece of content. Because it's momentary because in 2 years, in 6 months, no one's going to care about the iPhone 11. And most people, I mean, some will, but the majority of people will be like, what's the iPhone 12 look like? And then next year, people won't talk about the iPhone 12. They'll be like, what's the iPhone 13 looking like? Because it's a momentary content. You're going to get a big burst of people looking in, which is great sometimes. It's nothing wrong with it. It's just understanding which route you want to take. And I always choose the route of, if you can do a little bit of momentary content to get people in, but the content, your majority of stuff is timeless. Now, what's a piece of timeless content is how to make videos on your phone. How to make videos on your phone. So if you want to tie it into the best of both worlds, how to make videos on your iPhone. That's a great title. Because then you get everyone from any iPhone and the people who want to make videos. And making videos is not going away anytime soon. People are going to be making videos for the next 50, 100 years. So that's a piece of timeless content. And the thing is, when you have timeless content, that means that people can find you at any time and get value from it. This personal branding webinar right here that you guys are a part of, which I'm so grateful that you guys are here, this is a piece of timeless content. The platforms will change, of course, but the content is always going to be created. People are always going to need to learn how to build a personal brand. So as I'm speaking here, there's no time wasted. If after all this webinar is done, and as I said, you guys send me an email and I'll try to send you a link to this webinar, I'll give it to you guys for free. Or what I'll do is I'll post this on Charms University and send me an email saying you were here, and I'll send you a coupon so you can get this for free. That's the easiest way, and instead of trying to send a video out to all of you. My internet is so slow. But it's timeless. It means that if no one buys it, no one else watches it for 3 months, And then 6 months from now, I'm on stage talking to 61,000 people. And I say, I did make a webinar one time. And I remember the people who were there were my first ones. And I really did drop some bombs and told people about things. People can purchase it. And it's still relevant. Now, if in 6 months, I'm like, yo, I made a video talking about the Samsung phone. People are gonna be like, why do I care about that? The new one's coming out. So it's very important that you choose which one you would want to do, timeless and momentary content when you're making things. And you'll see the difference. When you're talking about something, you'll start to realize it. Like, I can make this right now about something momentary or timeless. And this is just something to consider. We'll go deep into that in the content creation webinar that I'm going to host. Next thing that I want to talk about, and you want to think about this, and this also is part of content creation, but I want to just jump into it because I think that it will start your mind going. This is just planting a little seed. The next thing you want to make sure when you're creating content around your personal brand, for your personal brand, that is scalable. Scalable is so important, and people forget about it. If it's not scalable, and you want to make sure that your content is scalable in a way that you don't have to do it. The more people you have, the harder you have to work and dig, and you can dig yourself into a very deep hole where you don't have any time. If you take on too many clients, it's like, for me, like, I take on too many projects at one time that require me to be there for every single moment of every single thing. It's not scalable, and you'll burn yourself out. So let's say, for example, I'm a yoga teacher. I love, first of all, I love the yoga example, and it's so relevant here in Bali because everyone does yoga. But the easiest way to talk about it when it comes to scalability is yoga. So let's say all of you guys were doing yoga together, okay? And this is going to really put things into perspective for scalability. If I'm teaching yoga and I have 5 people show up to yoga, and I charge you, let's keep it simple, $1 to show up. I would never charge someone $1 to show up to yoga. I do it for free or charge you $10, just so you know. So let's say you guys show up to my yoga class, and I charge you guys $1 to come in there. I got 5 people. That means in that hour of yoga, I made $5. Okay? Now scale. How much can you scale that? Well, most I could do is I could add more people to the class, but that means people have to be here. And for example, a lot of people are struggling with this now in Bali because people are gone. The people who did yoga in Ubud and all these places, they're gone. So now people have come to me like, oh, Luke, how do I do this? So if you guys are watching this trying to do yoga, this is a perfect example for you guys. So you have 5 people. So how do I make more money? How do I scale that? I got to have more people come in. So let's say I get 20 people. Boom, I made $20 an hour. Okay, now let's say I got hundreds of people lined up for the day. There's only so many hours in a day. I only can teach so many people in a day. And the problem with that, because it's not scalable, is means that I'm really forcing this thing to go. It's like pushing a car. You're trying to push the car and eventually you just burn out. Like, that means the maximum I could do is 10 hours of teaching yoga, having 10 people here, 20 people in the next class. And it's just, you're making a little bitty money here, but just enough, and you're really burning yourself out. It's not that scalable. So you got to think, like, how do I scale that? How do I scale my yoga class? Okay, there's a lot of ways you can do it. So here's one. You teach the yoga to 5 people, and you let them in for free. You say, you guys come to yoga for free. I'm just going to film it. So now that I'm teaching that yoga, let's call it Charms Yoga. Okay, let's do that. Charms Yoga. So all these people have come to Charms Yoga, 5 people. It's for free. So I'm not making any money right now. We're doing yoga and I'm filming it. And I'm filming it live. We have 10 sessions. I film it live. So now what I'm starting to do is I'm starting to create content around this yoga class. So now people are finding me like, wait, yoga, what? And it's for free. The people watching it on YouTube, you're bringing in people right now. You're bringing in an audience. If you guys can remember in the very beginning of this, I said, money follows attention. So now that I'm bringing people in, okay, that's great. So now we've got about 10, 15 videos of a class doing yoga that we're putting for free on the internet. And I'm not making any money yet. So basically, okay, so what do I do now? Well, after the class, I would talk to the people on the camera saying, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Blah, 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 blah. If you want to learn more information, follow us here. There'll be some yoga pictures on my Instagram. I have a podcast talking about the benefits of yoga, how I feel at peace. You see how we're building a personal brand here. We've got people showing up. We've got content on YouTube. You could have filmed it live on Facebook as well. And at the same time, me showing my face, talking at the beginning of the video, like, welcome guys to this yoga thing. And then all of a sudden it's like, if you've missed any of the classes, we've put a compilation of these videos. We're gonna sell it for $5. We're gonna sell it for $10 to you guys. And now the people who are watching, who are everywhere in the world, which is your audience, they can now buy those products. And also, while you're there, you could have, I have my own personal yoga that I do at home that I would like to share with you guys. If you want closer access to it, you can start a group of people where they pay a certain subscription, $10 a month, 20, 50. What I've seen my friends do it for 50 a month, where you get to do yoga live with the instructor. So you have access to this, and that is scalable. You can have 1,000 people in there that are paying $50 a month. So you just scaled that completely, and you didn't charge any money to make the content other than posting it, which you can use your phone to do. So you understand, like, scaling something is huge, being able to have the ability to scale it, because after a time, you'll burn yourself out trying to create content. My YouTube is scalable, meaning I can never post another video on there and it's gonna keep growing. Well, actually now the algorithm is really, like, I don't even wanna get into it, but people can still watch it, put it like that. People can still watch it. New people still come in. And I could create an amazing product. I mean, I've done it. I've created products that I've sold to my audience that I think that would help them, that they would like. And that's all scalable, because once it's out there, I'm not doing anything. People can purchase something, people can donate to the channel, people can do all that right now while I'm talking to you. So it's scalable. And this is something that's very important when it comes to making content. Now, kind of the last part of this webinar we're going to talk about is money. Money. First of all, I want to ask, are there any questions while I have a little coffee break? Okay, good. We can keep going. Money. Now, people are always like, money. How do I make money, Luke? This is what I need to know. I need to make money. Money follows attention. So you need attention. There's ways to hack the system. You can run ads. You can just sell a great product that people want at the time. If you had jumped on the fidget spinners, people would have been on it. You could have made a lot of money, millions of dollars, and I understand. But when you're going for the long haul, you want something that's a brand that lasts for a long time. You want to make sure that you're doing it the right way, that you're building the brand the right way. And when it comes to I don't call it money, because money is something that we made up, and we believe in this, why it works, but I want to get into that. And money's energy and energetics, all that kind of stuff. But I don't want to jump into that. The main thing is understand that it's about compensation. That's what people want. And what you have to understand is, in the beginning, for example, for me, when I started YouTube, I didn't make money. I wasn't making money. For months. I remember my first YouTube paycheck was 15 cents after like 5 months. I remember, because I remember I jumped up and down to my friends like, yo, I actually made some money. I mean, at the time, I think that month, I had maybe 400 views for the month. You know, this was back in the early days. But I had been 5 months making content before I got it. You know, and even when I was traveling in the summer, same thing. Didn't really make a lot of money either. But what I did make was I made some things that were even better than money, was opportunity. I got a lot of opportunity. And this is what no one talks about, because you think of money, like, I want this, I want to have this. But it's like, no, like, you get compensation for it. Whether that is someone invites you to do something, whether someone sends you an email that actually makes your day. Like, someone, I remember, like, when I first started on YouTube, someone had wrote me, I remember it was a kid in Denmark, 16 years old, who was depressed, and he watched my videos, and I didn't get money, but I got that email. I remember waking up to it, and I was just like, wow, that felt good in my heart. You know, and I remember traveling in the summer, and wasn't making a lot of money from YouTube, but I got a lot of opportunities. I got invited to restaurants. I got invited on free tours. So many people were like, hey, can you come and film this? If you film this, then we'll let you do it for free. Or we'd love to host you here. Now, as you guys know, when I travel, I'm moving a lot. So I missed out on 90% of the opportunities, but they were there if I had stayed in the place more than 2 days, because I posted videos after I left. But I had a lot of opportunity. And more than that, it gets you exposure. If you offered me $10,000 right now to do this live, or you said, Luke, we'll let you do this live with 10,000 people for free, I would pick the 10,000 people for free, because you understand that, wait a minute, the money's great, $10,000 is cool, but if I had 10,000 people there, maybe 1% of them or 1,000 of them will get this little product that I'm offering for $10. And you can make way more than that. And you've brought a fan who might get something further down the line. So you got to look at your content that you're putting out, not look at it from like, I need money from this, because it takes a while for money to come. You need to focus on the content. Focus on the content. And then the next thing I will say about money, because we're going to go into this in content creation, how to make money and all this kind of stuff. We'll do this later. But understand that there's so many platforms that allow you to monetize things. So many ways for you to monetize that you don't have to overthink. When you're on YouTube, things will start to monetize after, I think, 4,000 hours watch time and 1,000 subscribers. It starts to monetize. Different platforms you can go on that has things that already payment plans, things set up for it. So I think if you focus on the content and you get the attention, that the money and the opportunity follows that. And you'll realize, money's great, but opportunity is better. Like, opportunity is so much better, because the people that you meet, people have everything that you need. Anything that you want, people have. People can help you with their connections, with telling you where to go, what you need to see. So all this stuff is so important. So don't get so caught up when you're starting your personal brand on where's the money coming from. It's not about quitting your job and just building your personal brand. It's about working your personal brand, doing your personal brand while you're at your work or while you have the free time. Change a Netflix to just maybe one episode less and work on a personal brand for 30 minutes a day, because the payoff is immense. And understand that once you've built it, if you've built it the right way, you've built timeless content, you've had it on multiple platforms, you talk about it every now and then, it doesn't require you to be there every second, because it's working while you're not working. This is like one of the biggest things. Like, it's working when you're not working. That means that, like I say, I can just stop right now. Like, there's times I've joked about it with my friends. I've been like, we should just disappear for a few months. But that when people would still watch YouTube, people would still be able to consume content. People could still buy different products. People could still join different masterminds or anything like this. People could still do all this stuff, because this stuff is timeless. The content is there already, and all people have to do is come there. And because it's timeless, in 6 months, 6 years, that's why I was never stressed about, is people going to buy this? Are people going to get it? Because I knew it was timeless. So there's no time limit on it to sell it. It wasn't like, oh, I got to get this out because in a few months, no one's going to care about the iPhone. Like, no, people will care about personal branding for sure later on. People will care about content creation later, for sure. It's still going to matter. And then as you're growing your personal brand, you might become something huge person that everyone knows. And all that content that you made in the past, people can still get. Like, it's so funny because I looked this morning and I realized that I remember people bought my book last week or last month, because at the end of the month, it shows I get paid for the book sales that I have. And I'm like, I wrote that book like 2 years ago. I've written 2 books, but I did it 2 years ago. And I was like, wow, people still get it. I don't even talk about the books that I've written. And people still got it. And that was timeless content that you don't even think about. It's already out there. It's done. Like the YouTube videos people watch, that's done. Like, if we have to talk about money, I would prefer to have zero money from YouTube and have the people's attention than to have a certain amount every month, but no one watches. Because money follows attention, opportunity follows attention. The opportunities that I've gotten is way more important than the money that I've made. And I really mean that, because if I really was someone who was like, yeah, I'll take up on your offer, I've had so many things offered from opportunities. And to give you guys some more perspective on it, I've had people offer me their homes, like you can use my home, Luke. We're not there. We don't use that place anymore. People offer me their cars. Hey, when you come here, you got cars you can use. I've had people offer me to fly me places, to meet up with them, to come to lunch with them, to stay with them for a week. I could go on and on. And these are people. These are people. So who knows if I would take this person up to meet them, come to their home with their family and eat, who knows that opportunity would have opened up. That would have been more. So you understand that the opportunities is sometimes more important than the money. I know we're all taught money, 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 but it's very important who you know and who knows you. And by having that attention, people know you. And they naturally will want to, they feel like indebted to you. You know, so many people offer me, I'm like, oh my God, no, I don't need it. Thank you so much. You know, I think that that's something that's very important. And I guess on that note, let's see if I have anything else. Anyone have any questions? Any questions, real quick, before I wrap it up? Any questions? Oh, sorry, Nico. I just saw your comment. You got to the channel about a year ago. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah, Antwerp is cool. Any questions? Okay, I'm glad. I hope that this helped give you guys some value. One thing I do want to announce though, before I end this, for you guys who aren't aware, podcast. If you guys need more information, there's a lot of stuff I talk about on content, mindset, all that is in the podcast. Life Charms is the name of the podcast. Definitely go there and check it out. There's a lot of stuff on there that I talk about. I talk about content. More so I talk about a lot of strategies for the mind to get through it. Mastermind. This is something that's really important. If you guys are really interested in this, I think you guys will really enjoy the mastermind. The mastermind is, I want to say $24 a month, something like that. $24 a month. Every month there's a new module that comes out. And eventually I'm going to host lives with Mastermind. I think that's going to be starting next month. Maybe twice a month, maybe once a month. I want to do twice every 2 weeks. We're going to host a live session with the people from the Mastermind where you guys can ask me questions on things. And based off of, the thing is why once you're in the Mastermind, this month was all on content creation. So there's a video on there about personal branding, but how to create content, what kind of content to make, all that stuff is in the Mastermind in the first month. But this next month, it's a secret. I shouldn't tell you guys, but since you're here, I appreciate it. So I'm going to tell you, this month is all about mindset. So there's so many mindsets. We're talking about fear. We're talking about, what else are we talking about in the Mastermind? Fear, other people's opinions of you. All this stuff is going to be talked about in this month. So in this month, there's a bunch of lessons. Maybe about 10 lessons, 12 lessons will be in this month. And all that is, and you still get last month as well. So I'm really excited about the Mastermind. At the end of the day, I think the Mastermind will be like my baby. You know what I mean? Like YouTube is like, I love YouTube, but YouTube is very general. And I love, like this right here is what I love. Like doing this live session with you guys, this is what makes my day. Like working with people who want to make a difference in their life, who have a desire to change. Because it gets very frustrating for me to work with people who don't care, who just want to complain about the life that they're living and not do anything about it. But for the simple fact of you guys showing up here, that says a lot about you. And make sure when you end this, when we finish this in a few minutes, you understand that. It says a lot about you that you showed up here. You took the time, and I'm not only am I grateful for it, like that you guys took an hour of your, however long this has been, of your time to come here, but at the same time, you have the desire to change. And that's a huge step. That's a huge step that most people wouldn't do. Out of hundreds of people who could have been here, thousands of people, you guys showed up. And that's huge. You know, and it's my goal and to have the biggest impact that I can. And for you guys all showing up, I truly am thankful for you guys. As I say, please send me an email on it and label the email one-on-one. Label it one-on-one or label it Zoom conference, label it something like this, and it'll stand out to me. If you guys need more information, if I can help you guys out at all, I just really appreciate it. And I'm not gonna do this every live session for sure, but I'm just so happy to be here, have you guys here. That's something that's very important. I want to make sure that I give back to you all. And the first is always really important to me. The first YouTube video I put out, the first whatever, it really means a lot to have the support of people here. Okay, let's hit I saw a question here. How do you balance scalability with the urgency if you live? How do I balance, let me see. How do you balance scalability with the urgency? I'm not sure if I understand that 100%. But you balance. Can you rephrase the question? Because if you're whatever you're doing, you can scale it already. There's no like, oh, I got to change this to something I can scale. If you're doing something that, but it can be you can scale anything you're doing. Most of the scale it, you have to create content around it. So you can film yourself while you're doing it. You can write about it after. All this stuff is scalable. I watch live sessions because they're live. They may be live, but so grab before it's gone up live. Yeah, this is great. But what I said, Rob, is that basically what I'm putting on here, this is gonna be sold. I'm gonna sell this on Charms University. It'll be available for like $10 or something. But for you all who are here, when this is over, send me an email. Once I have this uploaded in Charms University, which is on Teachable, which is linked, I believe, under my YouTube videos, Charms University, this video will be there. I'll probably sell it. I'll sell it for like $13. Put it like that, something simple. So people have to actually invest into it. But what I want to do is, you all who are here, I will send you a link to where you can get it for free. So if you email me, I'll send you. I'll write it down right now. I'll make a coupon for it. I'll remind you to send me an email and I will get back to you. But I'm gonna make the coupon code first meeting, because this is the first one I've had. That's the coupon code. So you all who are here, you can go on. I think I'll make it that. That way you guys send me an email, and when you go on to the site, you can type that code in and you get it for free because you guys are here. And I know some of you guys joined late, and there's dropped some really good bombs earlier here that I want you guys to be able to get. If you missed the live session or need to listen to it over again or take more notes, I suggest listen to it one more time after you start, because then some things will make more sense once you start. But yeah, anything you do, you can scale. You might have to just change the way you do it a little bit, but you want to scale it. You want to film it, record it, and then from there, you share it, and then that starts to scale it, because you want to scale it in a way that you're not forced to do it all the time. Once you film that yoga class, if you missed the yoga example, I recommend just going back and watching this again. Once you scale that yoga class and you put it online, you can walk away from yoga for 6 months and people can still watch that yoga class over and over and over. And if you have a little pamphlet, work one-on-one, all this kind of stuff you can do because you've scaled it. And also, for the way you guys who are, I'm not going to get into it here, the details of it here, but if you guys are interested in just working one-on-one with me, send me an email, and I'll get back to you, and we can definitely talk, because I actually love working with people who have a desire to change. But yeah, that's the main thing I want to say. But I want to thank you guys for showing up here. The next live session will be, I think, on content creation. Because this is like basically what, as I'm filming these, I'm just going to tell you guys, this is, we're going live here, we're going live here. But like I say, if you are interested in working one-on-one, just send me an email about it. I'll talk to you there. I want to thank you guys for showing up. This is like the first live thing I've ever taught, and it was like so awesome. I love, like I say, I'm happy to have you guys here. Really means a lot to me, and I'm proud of myself for doing this. Nico, thank you. I hope this helped you guys out. I'm glad you guys got good info. Like I say, I will put this entire live session, it'll be on Charms University, and I will send all of you guys to send me an email. I'll send you the link to it and the coupon code so you get it for free, because you guys were here, and I don't want to charge you guys for anything for this. So you can get it, watch it over and over again. And yeah, that's awesome. I thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, anything like that. Like I say, you want to work one-on-one, send me a message. We can talk there. And anything else? Yeah, I think that's kind of it. I'm glad you know some. Yeah, I'm glad to help. I mean, it's always great to help. I mean, I feel like I know a decent amount of personal branding, but I'm always watching personal branding stuff, because you can always learn new things all the time, someone else's perspective. So go out there, create. Next webinar will be on content creation, which some more, I will drop some bombs in there, talking to you guys about some secrets and things that I use. Check out the mastermind if you guys can. I have a YouTube accelerator program out as well. And it is 5:40 in the morning, so time for me to go watch the sunrise. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can never thank you guys enough. Have a good time, good day, afternoon. It's late where you guys are, so have a good night. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're done. See you.